Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous video, we discussed the rational exponents. We have some brief discussion regarding what does mean when we see the exponents as 1/2, 1/3, or different situation. And we know the number on the bottom, the denominator, telling us whatever the root we are going to discuss. So today, as we mentioned last time, sometimes we might not see only 1 over something. Sometimes we might see a different number, like 2 or 3 or 4. Then how do we deal with this one? So for this situation, we're still going to carry over the discussion we had before regarding the bottom meaning here, meaning the root. But this time we are going to deal with numerator and denominator in the different cases. So let's look at this fraction here. The very first thing we know, 2 over 3 can consider as 1 over 3 times 2, or 2 times 1 over 3. The reason we said that because when I'm going to separate this 2 over 3 as these two cases. So we are going to have a two way to deal with it. Let's check the first one. First one, I'm going to deal with 1/3 first. So I break down 2 over 3 as 1/3 times 2. Because after all, you can just multiply these two to get 2 over 3, right? So let's move on. Next, I'm going to deal with 1/3 to the 8 to the 1/3 power, as we discussed before, is called cubic root of 8, which we already know that what number multiplies 3 times will get 8? Yes, we are correct, it's 2. But do not forget we still have square here, so 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, but as I mentioned, we do have another way to deal with it. Instead of dealing with denominator, which is 1/3, here in this situation, I'm going to deal with square first. But do not forget, it's 2 over 3, so it's square, then 1 over 3. So we deal with this one, and this one can be rewritten as cubic root of a squared. Make sense? Because 1/3 to any power, then this is actually meaning cubic root. But this one, we know the inside part, a squared, is 64. And then we just need to move on, 1/3. So what does a 1/3 mean? Meaning cubic root. So next, we are going to ask ourselves, what number you multiply 3 times is 64? Yes, you are correct, it's 4. So as you can see, no matter which way you're dealing with numerator or denominator first, you will have exactly same answer as long as you follow the rule as we mentioned. So that's what we discussed about different type of situation dealing with rational exponents. Whatever the number on the top is actually whatever the power we just need to deal with. So the ways we can deal with, you can always separate the situation like that. Okay, we are going to try more examples here so we can fully understand this. This one, as you can see, we have 3 over 4s. Some students might say, I can try to the third power and then 1/4, which is fine. But as you can see, if we need to deal with 81 times 81 times 81, we have to deal with very, very big number, right? So this case, it might be a good idea. We just deal with 1/4 first and then third power outside. For this case, as you can see, the 1/4 meaning the fourth root of 81. Then third power. Fourth root of 81 meaning we need to find one number. You multiply 4 times, you get 81. If you're not so strong at mental math, you can always say, oh, I know, remember, 9 times 9 is 81, but it's only 2 number, right? So, but I know 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9. See, we figure out it's 3. But do not forget, you still have a third power outside, meaning 3. You need to multiply 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. That's the answer for this one. Okay, let's check more examples so we can totally master this. This one is a little bit challenged, so you can definitely pause the video here to see if you can solve the answer by yourself, or just watch the video with me and we can solve this together. So this time, again, when you deal with two pieces together, we just need to deal with them individually. So I'm going to deal with individual for this one. And this one, the first one, as you can see, is negative 1 over 2. As I mentioned, even we're dealing with fraction exponents, but the rules we had before is still applied. Negative is always meaning 1 over. So I'm going to rewrite this one as 1 over 100 over 1. And this one, as you know, 100 to the half power meaning square root, right? So I know it's going to be like that. So you're going to leave it here and then going to come back to see this part. This part, as we mentioned before, is you can deal with, let's write down the side notes here. So we can deal with 1/3, then 2. And this is a cubic root of a, then square. And this cubic root of a is 2, 2 squared is 4. So we know, oh, the answer here is 4. So I just carried the 4 here. But remember, it's always a good idea to show all your work here so it's easy for you to check if you get it wrong. So I'm going to continue copy it down as 4. And this one, as we mentioned here, square root of 100 is, you're right, is 10. So is this. So we can come together as 4 over 10. And you can always simplify this by dividing 2 for both denominator and numerator, which is 5 over 2. So this is our final answer. And this is just another way to review the rules we mentioned before and also apply the new skills we just mentioned. How do we deal with rational exponents in the different cases? I hope this video is helpful. You can definitely rewatch it to see if you have more questions. Thank you so much for watching the video. Study this topic with me. See you soon, everyone.